Well, just a little follow-up here on a couple things I got buttoned up. And I apologize for the racket. That furnace makes a lot of noise when it's running, so I don't know how well you'll hear this, but I'm pretty close to the camera, so we'll give it a shot. I just thought I'd take a little shot. There's the oil pan all buttoned up on there, and I got the oil leak, or resealed this gasket on the rocker arm cover, and I had one other oil leak, and it was here, and so this goes up to the rocker arm and oils it. So there we go. Resealed these threads, so hopefully I got that little leak fixed, and it wasn't bad, but maybe that's taken care of now. And I was going to show you, like I said, some of the younger guys have never seen an old motor like this, and it might be kind of interesting. Back in 1932, engines did not have PCV valves, positive crankcase ventilation. What they had was this, a downspout. Some of the older motors used to have them go down the back of the motor, down by the transmission, and this one happens to go right in here, and there's a little clamp that goes on there, and it clamps to right there. And when I took this oil pan off, there was two screws that were longer than the rest of them, and when I put it back on, I kind of forgot about it. I used the two longest screws to get the oil pan started, just to get it to hang there while I kind of got everything else aligned and the gasket aligned and the bolt started. So one of them I got to move up. It's in the back, and I need to move it up too. I'm having an awful time holding this light in the camera. But anyway, I'm going to move that longer one up to here and swap it out. Those other ones are only about a ½ inch long, so they don't even come through this little thickness right there, a ¼ inch. So I'll move that long one up, and then there's a clamp that goes around this downspout and it holds this in. And this is that's your crankcase ventilation tube, and also this is where you put the oil in this motor. And here's another little bit of ventilation, as this rocker arm cover has 3 little slots in it, and it's kind of cool when you're driving this thing up the road and you can see a little bit of fumes and smoke coming out of there. I mean, it doesn't smoke real bad, but you can just tell that there's a little bit of heat coming out of there. It is breathing. And one thing I talked about on this rig before, but I'll say it again because it's been a long time ago, and probably a lot of people didn't see it. Maybe a lot of people don't care, but I always heard these old engines called a stove bolt 6, Chevrolet stove bolt 6. And where that term came from was these bolts here, these screws or flathead bolts, whatever you want to call them, flathead screwdrivers, that holds the side panel on. Those bolts are all like that, and also the ones in the oil pan, as you saw in the earlier videos there. But those bolts look like the bolts that were used to build wood heating stoves back in that time, in that era. So when people saw those, they looked like stove bolts to them, and that's how these engines came to be known as stove bolt 6. So there's a little bit of background history on the old girl. And let's see, yeah, I pretty much got all that buttoned up. Hopefully I'll take care of my oil leaks, and we'll find out. I'm gonna dump some oil in it, and I've got a few more things to do. I think I'll leave it up on the jacks while I work on those rear shocks, maybe get those rear shocks mounted. I don't know, I've got some work to do in the office today for a little while, and I want to do a little more cleaning up here in my shop. So I guess that's it for now. Anyway, just a little bit of follow-up on the old rat rod. See you later.